you guys for joining me for today's Tuesday Tip or Two. It is me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your up and coming queen of real estate. And yeah, let's get started. What's the topic? I'm talking about closing costs today. A lot of times when going through closing costs and things of that nature with clients, with buyers specifically, with sellers, it's not really closing costs. It's more that is called a net sheet cost. It's pretty much letting the seller know what they will get after any fees and all that good stuff. But a buyer's closing cost has a lot more detail, a lot more stuff. Buyers typically, it's a lot more that goes into it as far as buyers. So I wanted to comb through what a closing costs look like, some of the fees that are entailed, and really one of the things that came up with helping my buyers figure out what kind of offer they were going to put in, the terms, if they went up 5K, if they went up 10K, all that good stuff. When I use this closing cost sheet, it helps me to determine, okay, around about where's your month mortgage is going to be at, what your closing costs are going to be, if you put down more earnest money deposit, all that good stuff. So I want to kind of comb through it. I'm gonna do a split screen in a moment, but before I get into it, closing costs, what are they? What are them? Closing costs are typically I like to gauge it as 7 to 10% of the purchase price. I like to do it that way. A lot of times people will say, you might see things that will say like 6%, but I don't think they factor in everything. In my experience, based in Philadelphia mostly, and even the surrounding suburbs, closing costs wind up being between 7 to 10% of the sale price. Philadelphia, transfer taxes is higher than the county, right? That's kind of a factor, but kind of not, right? But in the counties, Montgomery County, Delaware County, the taxes are higher. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some of the closing costs associated. Now, of course, one of the things that closing costs consist of is your down payment for your mortgage. It consists of that, okay? Which is the 3%, the 5%, the 10%, the 20%, however your mortgage is. With FHA, that's 3.5%. Depending on where you, what your credit score is and what lender you have, you could get 3% down on your conventional loan. You could get 5% down. It could be 10%. So wherever that lands you. So it includes that, as well as some other fees that comes along with closing costs. Like, for example, it could be an application fee, an attorney fee if you're dealing with a real estate attorney, closing fee, also known as an escrow fee. Okay, this is paid to a third party who handles the closing, which would be the title company, an escrow company, attorney, depending on the state. Here is typically in Pennsylvania, it's typically the title company. Courier fee. Okay, random fee for people to sign papers. That could be a possibility, but you might not pay that at all. The credit report fee, so that that is definitely on there. It's typically between $30-$40. Escrow deposits. Okay, so some lenders require you to deposit 2 months of property tax and mortgage insurance payment at closing into an escrow account. Could be your FHA mortgage insurance premium. Okay, that could be on there. Flood determination and monitoring fee if you're in a flood zone and need flood insurance. Your homeowners association fee. That's for condominiums, development, community, anything like that. Homeowners insurance, your lender's title insurance, lead-based paint inspection, which is usually like a prepayment. Points, any discount points or something Points or discount points refer to an optional but upfront payment to the lender to reduce interest rates. Okay, that may be in there as well, and that's from your lender. Owner's title insurance, origination fee. Okay, the origination fee, it covers the lender's administration costs to process your fee, and it's typically 1% of the loan. And I'm gonna show you where that is, because I am, like I said, going to do a split screen. I typically include that. Some realtors do not, but I do. I try to make my estimates for closing costs as close to what a lender's would be. So yeah. So pest inspection, that's not really a thing because it's a prepaid daily interest rates. Okay, a payment to cover any interest on your mortgage that will accrue from the date of closing. Okay. Private mortgage insurance, appraisal fee, that is typically a prepaid as well, but sometimes, well, most times it is wrapped into your closing costs, but then it is credited at the end when you go to settlement because you already paid it. Your property taxes, your rate lock fee, if you locked your rate in, if it was, a day where the rates were super duper good and you want to lock that in, that's that. Any real estate commissions. So typically, as a buyer, you're not paying your realtor. You might, if for some reason the property that you're buying doesn't cover a realtor's minimum compensation, so you might, but typically you might just be paying you might just be paying some fees associated with working with a realtor, like conveyancing fee and a broker's fee. Okay, you have your recording fee. Okay, that is from the local municipality, the city, the township. You have your survey fee. You have your tax monitoring status, research fees. It could be a third party keeping tabs on property tax payments, something like that. You have your title search fee. You have, of course, the huge one is your transfer tax. It could, in Philly, it is 4.28. It is split between the buyer and the seller. So for a buyer, you will get the line item will be 2.14. For Delaware County and Montgomery County, it is 2%, which is split between the buyer and the seller, which is, you'll see the line item as 1%. VA fee funding, if you are a VA borrower, among other things. So that is a list, a gauntlet of fees that are on closing costs. That is standard. That is typical. Okay, so right now we're going to go through just what a closing cost worksheet may look like. Okay, here I am, and hopefully you can see that. Okay. Can't make any promises. I tried to zoom in a little bit, but so as you can see here is a standard. I was actually putting together an offer and running some numbers. So I just wanted to give you guys an overview of what that looks like. All right, so here you have a sell price. I say you're putting in $270 for a sell price. We can round that off actually to $250, just as a nice round number. So let's say you have a conventional loan, which is down here. Conventional, let's say your conventional loan is at 3%. And let's say that with conventional loans, you can only do 3% seller's assist. Okay, up to. With FHA, you can go up to 6%. So, and let's say you put down, let's say $5,000 in earnest money deposit. That's your upfront cost. And here's your taxes for this particular township and county for this house. Here's a handsome, wonderful interest rate, 2.87%. And you see here are a lot of just fees and stuff. So this kind of breaks down your mortgage here. And again, this is a system that me as your realtor would use. Your lender would use something else. But when we go to write up an offer, I have to send you an estimated closing cost. Okay. And again, you'll see something like this throughout. Once you go under contract, you will see it throughout your closing time until you actually, get to the settlement table. Here's your mortgage insurance. Really, you just, are doing something very basic as a general estimate, right? You might have your origination here. You may have your discount points here. So, I might throw in 1% or something like that, just to give a guideline for what the lender's fees might be. I don't know specifically, but it helps me to get to a closer estimated closing cost, so I can give you a better idea. Typically, when I use this and the way that I set it up personally, it helps my clients. I'm typically very, very, very close to the number once we get to the settlement table, or once we get the clear to close, should I say. And again, these are all the fees. All these are prepaid: homeowners insurance, your home inspection, your termite, your radon. All those are prepaid, but you have your mortgage recording, notary, that might be $40 or something like that. Transfer tax for this is Delaware County, it's 1%. Deed recording. These are generic numbers. Again, just stuff that, come with closing costs. All the taxes, lender escrows, all that good stuff, it's already calculated in here. So you'll see on this side, if you were to do seller's assist, it takes that out, and credits that. Earnest money deposit is credited out, and then it gives you your estimated cash needed at settlement. Okay, so your lender might give you this number, this 17,000, whatever, but this formula includes the earnest money deposit, so the true number at closing would be here, right? And this takes away all the prepaid stuff as well. Okay, so that gives you kind of a general idea. Now, a key in understanding closing costs, okay, and how does this tie into your offer? A lot of times it is important to understand what the numbers look like if you went up, if you went down. And this market is super competitive, right? So a lot of times, buyers can be like, oh, I don't know if I want to go up $5,000-$10,000. I'm nervous about what my payment would look like, or I'm nervous about the astronomical amount of money, much more money I have to bring to the table, right? So I like to show what $5,000 can do. So understanding, this is key. Understanding how going up on an offer, if you really like a house and you want to make your offer stronger, if the real estate agent, they're like, hey, the seller's taking the best and final offer that you have. And a lot of times buyers can be like, oh no, I'm nervous, I don't know, I don't want to be house poor, all that stuff, which is understandable. Understanding the fact that these numbers will help you make a better determination. Okay, so let's just say it's just like, oh, I don't know if I want to go up to $5,000, right? If we put in $5,000 more, if we made the sell price $250, so right now we have it where we're at $10,191 for closing costs, and and this is with seller's assist. We're still keeping it at $5,000 earnest money deposit, and then the monthly mortgage amount highlighted here is $1,754.27. If we put in $255, there we go. We go from $1,757, I think it was, right, to $1,778. That is what, 20 something dollars, about $25 or so more in a mortgage. You see here that the cash to closing is $10,332, right, as opposed to $10,191 at $250. Okay, so when you start seeing the numbers and seeing how these numbers calculate and change, it doesn't make a difference, a huge difference at least, right? Now, so a lot of times you will have clients who are like, I want to be frugal, I want to be smart about my money, I don't want to be putting in crazy offers, all these different things. You have to understand that the impact to go up $5,000 or $10,000 is great, is substantial for the seller, but it is not substantial for you, is the point I want to make. Okay, so let's just say you went up to 60. Okay, list price is $250. And you're like, I'm gonna go up $10,000, right? Again, you're still in that $10,000 range, but it's adding on, you know, extra $100 or so. As far as monthly payment, it makes a difference of about $50, right? To go from 250 to 260. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes $50 can put people over the edge, and that's perfectly fine. But when we're talking splitting hairs when it comes to, am I going to go to extra 5,000? Am I going to go to extra 10,000? Again, it's a great benefit for the seller to get an extra 5 and 10,000, because they get that lump sum of 5 and 10,000 at the closing table, as opposed to, you have to understand, $5,000 and $10,000 is not $5,000 and $10,000 upfront money for the buyer. It is $5,000, $10,000 over a 30-year mortgage, okay, or 20-year mortgage or 15-year mortgage, based on whatever, you know, mortgage you get. But we're basing this off of a 30-year mortgage. Okay, so this, when you're, you know, how am I tying in closing costs with winning the offer? This is it. When you're thinking about, should I go up? Should I don't know. I'm nervous about putting in the extra $5,000 to make the deal sweeter. You know, what if I don't want to be house poor, all these different things. Or what if I don't have enough money? Literally, we're talking about, you know, $25, $50 that $25, $50 risk that could secure you a house. Okay, so when you guys are putting together offers, when you are thinking about doing doing these things, you want to make sure that you're factoring in, hey, it's not really making that much of a difference. Okay, and it's important to say to your realtor, hopefully it's me, hey, let me see, if I went up 5,000, can you let me know how much that is? I know it's probably going to be like $20-$30, but I just want to see it. And you'll see that it makes the difference. All right, so that's all I wanted to say, you guys. Listen, these are closing costs. This is what it consists of. I hope that's helpful without making you too confused. I tried to go into detail, but not going crazy. So let me know if this is helpful. Listen, you know what you can do if you are interested in buying a house, on combing through these closing costs, on doing all of the above. You can go to book.djmrealtyco.com. That is book.djmrealtyco.com. If this helped you, if any of my videos are helping you, please feel free. Make it your business to like, share, comment, subscribe. Okay? Or give somebody this information to help them. Even if you're not in the hunt for a property, send it to somebody else because they might need it. So yeah, that is it for today's and this week's Tuesday tip at 2. Listen, remember, there's no place like home. There's no place like home buying. Please note that these strategies will help you get to the finish line of finding and securing your dream home. So I hope it helps. And I'll talk to you guys next week. I had to think, am I going on vacation next week? Nope. It's the week after. So next week I will be talking to y'all. Bye.